Girl, what's going on?
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Are we back? Are we back? Because I think we're still black. Yeah, I don't know what that meant. But anyways, so I'm back. Speaking of back, Monique from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, from the Real Housewives of Potomac, she was talking about how production treated her bad and gave her not a fair treatment of her or her husband, especially like at that last reunion. So that's a reason why she is not coming back. I think she's not ever coming back to the Real Housewives of Potomac, or like maybe I can see her doing maybe like a little. Hopefully, she can do like a little like friend of type situation or something like that. But she was like, there's this what's the name, that like Housewives All Stars type situation that's going on, and she was asked to do it, and so she told them no, and then she said like 2 days later her bird died. I was kind of confused about how the bird had anything to do with this, but she was like, she got her bird and she was very close to her bird, very connected, and the bird, she's like, birds are very spiritual and shit like that. And so the bird died after she had, like 2 days after she had told them no, she wasn't going to do it. And so as like the spiritual comfort for the last like 2 years or whatever, the bird dying, she took that as which I can understand it as a confirmation of this test that she has passed, because she kind of thinks that if she would have went back, she kind of would have been giving into like the abuse and the cycle and the craziness of the show, which makes me think, okay, she's kind of done with the Housewives. But anyway, this is the Dare Show podcast, and I talk about music. I talk about whatever's going on that I feel like I want to give a little opinion on. And you can follow me on Instagram at My Love My Need Tonight. I have a fantastic YouTube page. You can always leave a comment on my YouTube, on a YouTube video, which I'll say like 95% of my podcasts are on YouTube now. Just give me like a day to upload it up there, but this podcast is everywhere. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcast, I think some other stuff I don't really know. But I'm a global, baby. I'm not doing it like it's my B-Day anymore, because my B-Day is past. That was really fun last week. What else? Yeah, I have a bunch of like fun Patty videos and interviews and performances and some rare audio, really fun stuff on my YouTube. If you're a Patti LaBelle fan, go ahead and check that out. It's I believe it's called The Dare Show, or The Dare Show Podcast. Just type in The Dare Show Podcast and you'll find everything that you need. Type it in anywhere. So let's get it started. Anita Baker, she told us that she got her masters, I believe, or whatever deal she had with her record label. They came to a conclusion and she got her good side of the deal. So her stuff isn't on streaming, and I don't know if it ever will be, because especially like with Spotify, I think Spotify is the lowest paying streaming service. So we'll see we'll see if that happens with her, because, people are about their money, but as of right now, her stuff isn't on streaming. I don't think it ever really was. I don't think a lot of her discography was on streaming, so it'll be interesting to see. But she got what the deal was, whatever the deal was. It was her first like 5 albums. Like, I think it was the late 80s. Oh, no. I think it was in the 80s. Yeah. Mid-80s. I think she came in like mid-80s into the 90s. And then she took a break. But my favorite Anita Baker album is My Everything. And I'm guessing that's not going to be on there. But anyway, so we're about 2 weeks until the 1st of October. I think we're about like 2 weeks. September seems like it's going to go by faster than August. We're about 2 weeks from August 1st, October 1st, I'm sorry, where Libra is going to come out. I'm so excited. Toni Braxton's album Libra which was a part of the Black Ground music record label, whatever you want to call it. It was a part of that, and so here we are about to get it in with Miss Toni Braxton on the 1st. She still hasn't said anything. I don't know if she ever will, but we'll see. The Janet Jackson documentary came out. I mean, the preview came out. And it comes out, they're saying, on Lifetime in January of next year, January 2020, which I'm like, okay, girl. I hate previews for stuff that's like 6 months in advance. Like, what am I going to do with this information? But yeah, I'm excited to see the documentary. We have Mary J talking, I think. Not Mary J. Mariah. I'm looking at these people, but I'm saying different words. Okay, please forgive me. I love doing this podcast, but sometimes my brain doesn't always reflect what I'm trying to say. Mariah was talking. I was like, oh, Mariah. Okay, what does Mariah have to say about Janet Jackson? Because I've never really heard about her talk about... You really hear Mariah talk about anybody, let alone a Janet Jackson. But anyways, Mariah, Missy Elliott, who else was talking? I don't remember. We didn't see Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I would love, like, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Janet to sit down and talk. Give us like a good hour, maybe even 2 hours. Give us a good 2 hours. Just go through like different songs, reflect on what they remember, reflect on like visuals, reflect on the creation of the song, reflect on like albums and where they were all at different times. Like, that would be so cool. That's what I kind of wanted more. Low key, all I really know about Jimmy Jam is pretty predominantly Janet, and I would low-key love more. That's what I thought they were kind of going to talk about more when they were doing their album promotion. I would have loved like Janet talk, and hopefully she's on the next volume of their album. So yeah, the Janet Jackson documentary, it looked pretty interesting. I think she has a ton of footage, like behind the scenes stuff. But we'll see. Also, this thing about Janet and her, like, at the end, she was like, this is me telling you my story, nobody else. And I'm like, Janet, what? Janet's always, like, saying that. And it's so weird, because I'm like, why does she keep saying that? Even when, I think it was, like, Unbreakable was coming out. Like, there was, like, rumors about it and stuff like that. She would be like, from my words to your ears, or something like that. Only for me. You'll know. It was sort of like, you'll know when I'm putting stuff out, because I'll tell you. It's like, okay, why? Like, did that man treat her that bad that, like, she has to fully take control back of her life? But also, I'm like, who is out here really, like, nobody's writing, like, tell-all books. Nobody's out here writing, like, interviews about Janet or like essays or stuff like that, except for like maybe Bobby Brown and that thing he talked about, like him putting her out of his hotel, I think it was, maybe stuff like that. But I'm like, other than that, I don't know. There's not like too many rumors still going around about Janet. There's not like too much going on about Janet. So I'm like, why does she feel the need to constantly say that? Like, you're gonna hear it from me. Something I just found out was Chloe and Halle. I didn't know. I guess, okay, Halle, I believe, if you listen to them, they're signed to Parkwood Production. What do you call it? Entertainment? Parkwood Records? I don't think it's records. It might be entertainment. Anyways, they're signed to homegirl over there at Parkwood. And again, like a couple of weeks ago, I think probably like last month, I think I talked about these groups not always staying together. And oh yeah, two weeks ago when I talked about Little Mix and how like these groups don't really stay together. And now we have like Hallie, and girl groups not staying together mostly. And now we have Hallie. She's doing, I'm not saying she's doing like solo stuff, but she's doing like the Little Mermaid. And now I believe on like Friday, which is, or maybe it was tonight or something like that, Chloe is supposed to be releasing a video and a new song. So, and I asked somebody, I was like, I asked Didi, I was like, she's going solo already? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm shocked. Like already? Like y'all got like what, 2 albums? Y'all got 2 albums. But I guess, I don't know. I guess I need to get into the mindset of people want to do solo stuff. Like I get you want to do solo stuff, but like damn. Can we put some work in? Like I think the Supremes were together for like 10 years at the least. At the most, I'm sorry. Destiny's Child were together professionally. Was it 97 or 98 they put it out? I want to say 97. They weren't even together for 10 years. They weren't even together for 10 years. Oh, Lord. Okay, so anyways. Chromatica. A couple of weeks ago, I kind of thought, I didn't really think this was going to happen. No, this was like earlier last month, when I talked about Art Pop 2 coming out. I was like, that's not going to happen. I kind of still don't think it's going to happen. But we do have a Chromatica remix album called Dawn of Chromatica, which the whole album, like I didn't listen to it because I don't really like remixes like that. Like the type of remixes they were remixing, I wasn't really into it like that. So I was just like, okay, girl, I'll listen to it another day. But I did listen to a couple of them, and I was very surprised. Honestly, Plastic Doll is probably the best remix on the album. 911, probably the second best. 911 gives me like a ballroom, like Vogue type feeling. Very much Babylon in a way. Well, speaking of Babylon, I was not a big fan. I was highly disappointed in both Babylon remixes. She has 2 of them on there. And I was like, girl, this is what you giving us? I was, again, highly disappointed in Replay and Enigma. I love those 2 songs. I feel like those are that's when like, I feel like we're in the heart of the album. When Enigma and Replay come on. Those are my favorite songs. Also, I wasn't like over Chromatica. Like I'm still bumping it. I'm still bumping Replay. I'm still popping it to Enigma. I'm still loving me some Sign from occasionally Sign from Above. I'm still loving me some, I didn't mean to say Sign. I meant 1,000 Doves, baby. Listen, every now and then when you cut on some Stupid Love every now and then. But I'm still like enjoying Chromatica, the album. So I wasn't necessarily needing a remix album. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think it's going to do very well chart-wise coming out of the debut moment. But shout out to Chromatica. Patti LaBelle, my girl Patti. I think she's doing another commercial, or she's in another commercial. There was like some pictures, and there was like, we're backstage, blah blah blah, commercial. Patti. That's all I really read. So we'll see what's coming from there. Hopefully some food. Patti. Anyways, Miss Carrie Underwood. She did a song with Dan and Shay for the Dear Evan Hansen soundtrack. And the song is called Only Us. And baby, I wasn't gonna listen to it at first, but I support Carrie. Just give me a second. I wasn't gonna listen to it at first, but I'm like, yeah, let me play this. And I played it, and I was just like, baby, we in here. She killed that. Y'all, Carrie Underwood, and she's the last person I'm gonna talk about in this segment. Carrie Underwood is just like incredible. She's such an incredible vocalist. Such an incredible vocalist. Okay? I'm going to try to pop in a little clip of her singing Cry Pretty.
Sometimes you just have to completely shut out your emotions and go to work. But Cry Pretty was about that time that you just can't.
Pretty much fake your way through anything, but you can't cry pretty.
What stood out to me most was how much of an amazing songwriter she is. And I think a lot of times she has such an iconic voice that it overshadows.
When things get ugly, you just gotta face that you can't cry pretty.
Which I think last week was the song of the week or whatever. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying this is because Cry Pretty, the album, next week we get I think it's going to be the third, 1920. Yeah, so it'll be the third anniversary of Cry Pretty. And I'm like, let's talk about this album. We got to talk about Cry Pretty. We got to talk about it because it's such an incredible album, and she's such an incredible vocalist. She has like on this Only Us song, she's in her falsetto, which she doesn't really do a lot. So it's very nice to hear her sing like this. It's so sweet and so tender and so great. She gives it. I feel like I tell you, she's the country Beyonce, and not even on the lack of awards and recognition that they don't give her in the country music industry, but on the vocal level, I feel like Beyonce can sing anything, and in my opinion, Carrie Underwood can sing anything, and it just sounds amazing. And I feel like she kind of really showed that even on American Idol. I think that when she did Kisses or Queens, Tonight I'll always on my own. I never even know until I met you. Alone. When she did Alone, I think that was a prominent moment in her American Idol career, and people started really looking at her. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't watch that season, but I think that's what that's about. So, but yeah, Only Us. Go check it out. I think her video for what is it called, with Jason Aldean? Like I Never Met You. Oh, hold on. What's the song called? Because it's been out a while, and I really do like that song also. I didn't really talk about it as much when it came out, but I really do like that song. Okay, I don't know what the song is called, but it's with Jason Aldean. And yeah, shout out to that song. Yeah, okay, I can't find it. But shout out to Carrie Underwood. I can't wait. I'm trying to get into articles. I was reading reviews. The reviews are funny and shady and horrible. But I feel like this album is such a great album, and we're going to talk about it next week. But go listen to Only Us. And so up next, I talked about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and that explosive episode. I've already recorded it, so it's just gonna play when I get back from paying some bills. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. This was my third attempt at trying to get my thoughts about the last episode. The episode last week. We're already on the new episode. So hopefully somebody cares, somebody listening. But I'm trying to make some points that I don't think people are talking about. I'm trying to get this like 15 minutes or less. So, Garcelle. This has to do with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the dinner party from like hell or whatever. Garcelle. I want Garcelle to speak up more. I want her to sort of back up Sutton a little bit more, because I feel like that will make Sutton probably not feel or look like the only person that has questions and concerns about what Erika's going through. This whole like orphan thing situation. And plus this was like 6 months ago. Probably more than six months ago. When this when this is filming. So I'm sure now all the ladies see their faults and all the ladies see who was really talking, who really had concerns, yada, yada, yada. Garcelle always trying to like comfort Erika is kind of weird, but I feel like she's trying to keep her friendship with her intact, but yet still ask certain questions. I feel like Garcelle wants to be cool with her. Like I said, yeah, she wants to be cool with her, but ask questions. And I think everybody else wants to do that, but I feel like Garcelle is always like treating her with kid gloves, especially after the Tom is speaking to you blurration that she did with Erika. Did I say Erika? Okay, wait. I just want her to speak up more, and I'm like very cautious of her, like always trying to be like, I'm not trying to hurt you, Erika, or okay, you guys, let's quit this questioning or quit this conversation or something like that. It's very weird because she's sort of like the only one. And it's like she's the only one like physically, like even when Kyle, I think it was after Kyle had COVID and her and Erika went hiking, Kyle wasn't even like physically there for her, like physical in the way. And then Erika, I'm with you, Miss Lexapro, until the wheels fall off, and the wheels are falling off. Like you're looking crazy. And you're becoming so defensive that I don't even think you realize you're such a smart woman. I don't even think you're realizing you're becoming crazy. Like telling these women that it's not humane to think that they're going to be a part of this, like allegations or being deep dived into their own finances and yada, yada, yada. I feel like it's such bullshit and it's such a hard defense. You don't even realize what you're doing because it's obvious. Not always, but here we are now. These ladies are being dragged into this. Like what Dorit said, these ladies are being dragged into this, whether they like it or not. Like you see Lisa Rinna, she's being possibly deposed. They're talking about rumors and allegations of like Erika's money being invested in her daughter's company. So these ladies are being dragged in this, whether you like it or not. You're being magnifying glass dragged into this, whether you like it or not, because they're talking about you got some lottery money and they want to know where it went or something like that. I'm just like, it's just like crazy stuff that is coming up. So I mean, like, Erika, you look crazy. You look absolutely crazy. I kind of was like, okay with the, I'm not going to say lie. I don't mean to say whole. I was okay with the allegations of the mistresses and Tom's head industry in his head in what's the word, injury. Also, people are like, Tom had a head injury and she went out and found him. No, I don't think okay, maybe, but I took it as she didn't find him outside with the head industry at the car crash. I took it as she found him like in the house unconscious from the car crash. Maybe that's just sort of my logical kind of putting together. But I see a lot of people talking about, Tom is a superhero. He's a part of the Marvel community, and he survived car crashes, and now he's doing all types of shit. But yeah, I don't understand why Erika is going so hard in on Sutton. Like, Sutton, I think she's either afraid of Sutton or she genuinely is going after Sutton because she's like, Sutton was so nice and so sweet to me. We were like very, like, becoming a nice friendship. And I think Erika either knows Sutton knows shit or she is just disappointed. But I'm just like, her going after her like that, cursing at her. After Sutton is just calmly talking, trying to get her point out, and Erika's sitting there like cursing at her and acting a fool. You just look crazy. You look really crazy. And then Erika, why do you feel like if you're against me, you're either with me or you're against me? Because the whole like speech about one day when this is all over, I'm gonna remember who's for me and who was like sort of against me. And first of all, Sutton was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you can keep that shit. Like, I don't really care how you feel about how you're dividing this into. I'm just trying to be real with you. Sutton didn't give a fuck. And Erika, I feel like at 50 years old, you should be able to understand people can love you and have genuine questions for you. Like, are you telling me your mom doesn't have questions for you? Are you telling me like other people in your family doesn't have questions for you? I'm sure they're talking to you, but you're just coming off way too defensive. Way too defensive. And this reunion is going to show who was all talking, because Kyle, Dorit, and Sutton, they were the main ones like piping up, like bringing up a big argument and talking about it, especially Dorit. So like for Dorit to like get mad that we're saying you talk too much, and then for her to get mad at Garcelle for saying, well, you didn't say that on Saturday. On Saturday, you felt a whole different way, lady. For Dorit to get mad is so ridiculous, because like in the clips we've seen, you were pretty much the only one talking. So if you're pretty much the only one talking, we're going to remember what the fuck you said. And what you said was, you want to know the answers. You want to know the truth. For you to be Erika's friend of 5 years, Dorit is just trying to save her ass. And she's not looking good. Dorit can go. Kyle can go, because Kyle's throwing Sutton under the bus, but Sutton's like, I'm the only bitch in here talking, so go ahead, throw me under the bus. Kyle was like, you said the next time you see Erika, you want to tell her how you feel. You want to nuck if you buck, bitch. So nuck. It's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous how Kyle did that. And I thought Kyle was like talking to Erika, trying to get something out of Erika, but she was throwing Sutton under the bus, being completely ridiculous. When Kyle, even if you said it once, you still said you have questions. You still said you want the answers. You said it once, but you said it. So at this reunion, we're going to see a lot. I think Erika needs to apologize. I think she needs to... I think the other ladies need to take accountability. I mean, not that they need to. It's on video. They keep replaying it over and over and over. So they're the ones that really do look silly. Silly little geese. I can't. And for Kathy to like say that Sutton is a nobody is so ridiculous, because Sutton is the only person really asking questions and talking about this. Lisa Rinna, quiet. And I feel like Lisa Rinna knows shit. Lisa Rinna being quiet makes me think that she being like quiet, but then sort of strongly against, like that lawyer said, very strongly against the allegations. Like, Erika wouldn't do that. Erika doesn't do that. Erika knows nothing. Her being against that makes me think that Erika is slightly knew something. Like, if some of the girls, if like Kyle and Lisa weren't acting so stupid, like Lisa's like, oh, I just woke up, I didn't read the full article. While Sutton, Sutton came down, can quote the article. Kyle is sort of back and forth on how she feels, but her slip is showing. But for Kathy to be like, Sutton's a nobody, well, pretty much she said Sutton's a nobody, but she was like, Sutton, people don't care what you have to say, Sutton, because, and then they all chimed in like, Kyle, Erika and Crystal were like, yeah, nobody really knows who she is. And it's just like, so why is she freaking out and trying to act like she's this big top woman? And it's like, just because she's a nobody to you or you don't know her doesn't mean the community she's in and the boards and shit that she's on don't think of her as high. The boards think of her as highly as you probably don't. And it's like, just like the music, and just like the music industry, like last week or a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about the Mariah Report, talking about Kelly Price and really shading her, I'm like, just because you don't listen to her music, just because you're not aware of her success, doesn't mean she's successful, doesn't mean she's not successful, and it doesn't mean that the people in her community, the Black community, doesn't praise and appreciate Kelly Price. Same with Sutton. Just because you don't know her doesn't mean these people don't know her or think of her as a mover and shaker in LA. So we're going to see. But Garcelle, I wish you were speaking up more. The wheels are falling off Erika, Miss Lexapro, and it's not looking good. So, well, tell me what you think. Because it's really not looking good. Okay, so those are my thoughts on that episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So I was so flabbergasted by this episode. I was screaming at Erika bucking and cursing out Sutton, and then Erika being so cold towards Garcelle and like telling her, you can let me go, and shoving her face away from Garcelle, trying to wipe the tears off. Like, it's so crazy. She looks so crazy, but she still looks beautiful at the end of the day. She looks really good. People say what they want, but she still looks good. And I feel like another thing, people are still like giving her sentences and words and describing her as things that don't fit. I understand what people are saying, but at the end of the day, Erika still is a human. Erika, whether the tears are fake or not, I do think, she is going through this emotionally, and she might not be emotionally going through this so well. She is on antidepressants. When she was telling Dorit, look at my life, I feel like she wasn't talking about materialistic things. I think she was talking about emotionally. This is emotionally turmoil. This is the rumors and the allegations and the actual lawsuits and the lawyers and the TV show and all this other stuff. I feel like it could be a lot for her. And as a human, the wheels are falling off, but as a human, she probably needs support that she's not letting people get in, or she's being very selective of who she lets in. Again, still being very selective. I don't know. We'll see how this all turns out. Like, is she getting a divorce? How do you get a divorce with somebody who has, like, brain trauma or brain, what is it called? When you have, like, Alzheimer's or dementia, like, and then are you, like, waiting for them to find money so you can get money, but they're alleging that you took money, and then there is allegedly no money? It's just like, what is going on here? What is going on? Girl, what's going on, as Niecy Nash says. Okay, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you guys think. Yeah.
CNC, pride, a deep love, pride, a deep love, pride, a deep love.
Okay, so to end this episode, I just wanted to end it with the song of the week, which to me is a incredible song. You just heard Mariah and her background singers, one being Kelly Parson, her other sister, sing it, which is A Deeper Love, child. A Deeper Love, I think, was hit upon hit back in the day. I think I talked about it like last week or a couple of weeks ago, how I didn't know that it was Aretha's version, which was on the Sister Act 2 soundtrack, is a remake of CNC's original version. So I'm going to go listen to that, and I guess next week I'll tell you how I feel about it. But shout out to that song. Shout out to the lyrics. I didn't even know, I should have known, but I didn't know that they were saying pride. I thought they were saying find, but they're saying pride. A deeper love. I was reading a comment and they were saying, oh, I wish, they were saying like back in the day in the clubs, this song was like a hit and everybody was dancing to it. And I'm like, I'm not really a club person, but I feel like I would enjoy going to the club listening to this song. It's just a bop upon bops. I'm telling you, CNC Music Factory, Savalis and Cole, they really, my God, they really did some shit back in the day. I was trying to look and see if one of the one that's not the one living still has like is on like Instagram or anything, but I don't think I was able to find anything. It's so funny because there's this music video of, there was like behind the scenes video of Aretha when she was making the video, right? And she did this interview, I think last week I talked about it, or I keep saying this, a couple of weeks ago, I think it might have been last week, when I talked about, I mentioned like Aretha was talking about how she likes getting her back blown out by these young dudes. She was like, the young dudes are killing it, but I'm still on Slim Fast. And like, for some reason, I think like I went to go watch the video for the first time like last night or something, and I was like, wait a minute, that's from the Deeper Love. That's when she was doing back the little interview backstage. So I like went and watched it, and I was like, oh yeah. And they were like, yeah, this is Aretha on her new single Deeper Love. I was like, oh my goodness, my memory is incredible. My photogenic memory is incredible. That's all I have to say. Also, this song really reminds me of whenever, of course, it reminds me of, but like whenever I listen to it, I genuinely think about Sister Act 2 and how such an amazing movie it is. Also, did Whoopi ever like promote that movie? I think I was like born the year it came out. No. I think I might have been one when the first one came out. I think the second one was like 96, 97 or something like that. But did Whoopi ever promote it? Because there's like no like video footage or anything of them really ever promoting it. I know there's like a behind the scenes stuff on YouTube. But anyways, back to Aretha. I really do enjoy this song. I really do love the movie Sister Act 2. Like the song plays at the end and it just reminds me of like happiness and fun and such a warm place in my like body, and it just brings like endorphins out. And because I really do love Sister Act 2, it's one of my favorite movies. I haven't watched it this year. I should get onto that. But yeah, Sister Act 2, it plays at the end, but I'm like, I don't know how I know like 90%, I literally know like 90% of the lyrics. And I'm like, I've never looked at because I've never looked at the lyrics. But yeah. So shout out to Sister Act 2. Shout out to Aretha and her scatting through the, like, it's such an amazing, no, she did like a couple live versions. One with Oprah, and it like didn't have such a great, it had like a different beat to it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But then, she does her like little scatting and shit, and it's like amazing. It's amazing. It's like one of the, I don't like a lot of Aretha music, but this is, like I said, of course, it's the song of the week. It's the song of my heart. It's the song of my soul. But yeah, when she does her scatting, I don't think she does scatting so much on like her gospel music, but like her scatting on like I feel like scatting on gospel music was like Kim Burrell and the Clark sisters and like a newer generation when they like merge gospel together with like other genres. But anyways, so thank you for listening to this episode of the Dare Show podcast. Like I said, my Instagram is my love, my need tonight. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the topics. Anita Baker, are you excited to stream her music? I am. I hope we do get it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if we will. Are you excited for the Janet documentary? What are your thoughts on Dawn of Chromatica? Yeah, next week I'll be back. I'll be here with Cry Pretty album review. I'm doing some research right now. I'm listening to the songs constantly, of course, and I'm going to give it to you good because I'm really excited about this one. So I'll be back next week. Shout out to me. Do it like it's your B-Day. If it's your B-Day, we're still in Virgo season. And good evening. Goodbye.